everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to do the mid-year tag where we are just talking about some favorites and disappointments and anticipated stuff for the rest of the year, which is everyone's favorite tag, obviously. If we don't count any July books, because I'm counting them in the second half, since first half in my opinion is from January to June, I have read 346 books so far this year. If we kind of do the July ones so far this month, I am on 352, if you really want to know. I actually don't have words to myself for what to say about this amount of books. I have never in my life read this many books in that amount of time, like in 6 months time. I have never in my life read 346 books. That's a lot of books. And like last year I broke my own record reading 407 books, and I definitely really reached above 407 for the last 6 months of this year. I am going to read more than 50 books, and I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's going on. I doubt it will ever happen again. I say this every year. I say I'm not going to read as much this year and I just read more, but I doubt for real this time that it will happen again, because next year I am like deep into my master thesis. I love reading. I love books. Sometimes I can get a bit in my head and be like, my whole life is reading now. I should do other stuff as well, even though I love it. But it's really because I'm doing a lot of challenges and different vlog things that has made my reading go up a lot, and I still want to do those things even more. So maybe my reading would stay the same in the future. It depends. Surely because I'm making videos that I read as much lately. Also, I would still be reading a lot, just like not this much. And someone is gonna ask me, how do I read so much? I made a whole video about this back in April when I did Vida this year. So I'll link that down below so you can watch that for me explaining how I read as much in 20 minutes. Instead of me having to explain it here, honestly. Me referring to that video for the rest of my life is the best choice I ever made. Either way, I'm gonna go to these tag questions now. Where is my notes? They are here. So I find always some of these questions hard to answer, just in general, but I'm gonna try my best for this video. So first off is my favorite book of the year so far. Oh my god, I forgot to bring it out. I brought out every single book except this one. The book in question is without a doubt The Will of the Many by James Islington. And this one is the first book in the Hierarchy series, and this is my Roman Empire. I say unironically because it is like a Roman Empire inspired world where we have a main character who actually comes from this traumatic past where he was the prince on one of his islands that the empire conquered, and he's now like, no one knows who he really is. He is being adopted by this family to enter this university, this school, this prestige school that's very competitive, to find out about these murders that are happening there. And it's like kind of murder mystery slash surviving this school slash other secret conspiracies, and then it just goes out of control. It does not go where you think it's gonna go. It is honestly one of the most brilliant books I read in a long while. It was so captivating and so good. The world building, the characters, the atmosphere, everything about this was absolutely fabulous, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I haven't read a book that made me feel this much in such a long time, and it was honestly one of the best refreshers in the world. I haven't stopped thinking about it. It's been, I read this in January. Nothing has been able to compare to this, and it's gonna go down, I think, as one of my favorites of all time if the sequel can help it. I would obviously still love this first book, but I'm just like hoping the sequel will keep on to like the things here that I loved. And I'm just thinking about it, getting goosebumps. I don't think I'm describing it that well, but it was just so good and I absolutely loved it, and it's like one of my favorites. So if anything manages to beat this year, I will be surprised depending on what I actually read. Absolutely incredible. Could not recommend enough. If you've been hesitant to pick it up, I feel like I've seen everyone rave about it because it's honestly that good. So no doubt that this is the winner, and it would definitely be in my favorites of the year video that will come later this year. I can talk more about it, but I'm gonna go on. Now we have best sequel, and I really struggle with finding answers to all these questions because I feel like there's more options for each question, especially since I read 346 books that can qualify for these questions. I realize I haven't put in a single manga as answers in here either. In my head I separate them a bit for the normal books here, but life. Either way, best sequel, I have as a runner-up, I have Tyrant's Throne. I did finish The Great Coast, which was an incredible journey. Like, book 2 is my favorite, and I gave it like complete 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. This is book 4 and like the final one. I did read book 3 in between, which I enjoyed, but I gave it that 4. This one I gave 5 again, and it was just such an incredible journey to say goodbye to the characters and to just see how everything played out. It didn't go where I expected at all. It was such an enjoyable time, and like it goes down as a really, really great sequel and series. My official answer, I actually needed a long time to think on it, but I think it's gonna be the sequels to Imperial Watch by Unlucky. So I actually had only read the first book, and I read the full trilogy as well and reread the first book earlier. And then these are the standalones in the Imperial Watch series. We have Provenance and Translation States. And while I love the original trilogy, it was just so fun to see us explore more in the Imperial Watch series. It was just so interesting to follow different characters and different just like ways that we can play out things in this world. And I thought it was just so incredibly well done and just so cool to expand this world. The writing, the characters, everything is just so well done. So Imperial Watch, the first series, follow this, I was gonna say, mind, or like, I don't know if you can call it really an AI, but they have different bodies, and then this person has been forced into one body and is kind of out for revenge. And then we go on this journey in the universe to make this happen by meeting this other grumpy character, and it's amazing. And this follow completely different things, but it mentions the events of the main trilogy, and I thought it was just so well fun done. I really, really enjoy Provenance. I think it might be my favorite. This one we have a young person who is trying to like impress her mother, and then she kidnaps this dude that like is known to have hidden this thing. This is really, really vague, and it was so fun to see her like trying to navigate this and the different characters and the humor. It was just great. In this one we have like an heiress that gets this job that she's not expected to do but does it anyway. She's trying to find this missing person, and then we have different point of views of the characters, and it's just it was really, really brilliant, and I really, really enjoyed them, and I feel like not enough people are talking about them. So very, very solid sequels. Then I have a new release that I haven't read yet or excited to read yet, and that's I am holding The Familiar by Lee Bardugo. I still haven't read this. It is the next audiobook that me and Eric are supposed to listen to. We just like never have time. We just do other stuff, and I'm obviously super excited for this. I'm fascinated by like it being set, what was it, in Spain? Like it's historical fiction fantasy kind of thing, and I'm curious about it. I want to see if I will like it. It's not even like that long, so we just should get our shit together to listen to it by the end of this year, hopefully. But I am so curious about it, and I still haven't read it, so I really should, but I haven't, so this is a good answer. Then the next question is your most anticipated release for the rest of the year, and I don't really have any good answer than Air by Salvatore Hare. This one is a new fantasy series by the author. I have been waiting. Amber and Ashes is one of my favorite things in the world, and this is set in the same world as Amber and Ashes, so my heart. And I think it's the first in a duology, if I believe correctly, and I just cannot wait. I'm so excited, like quaking inside of me, so I just cannot wait, and believe like there's no other book I'm anticipating more than this, so that's all I got to say. This question is biggest disappointment, and I feel like that sounds so negative. Obviously, I know that some people add and put away some questions in this text, and some people, for example, have added like worst book I read, but that would take too long for me. So I feel like biggest disappointment would actually be A Fate Eating Blood by Danielle Jensen. While I still enjoy this, I just loved Bridge Kingdom a lot. I don't know why Bridge Kingdom hit me the way it did, but it's just like I gave 5 stars in that series, you know? And I was so excited for another, like, romantasy by the author. Thought I would like it. I just didn't know it was going to be Vikings, and it made me realize I don't like Vikings tropes. And I just, like, didn't feel for the characters and, like, romance as much as I felt I should have. Like, I feel like I should have enjoyed it much more. I just, like, didn't care for the world building as much. And it just, the more time has passed, the less I liked it. I still was enjoyable. Like, I gave it 3 stars. I wouldn't say that like it is a terrible book necessarily, but since the question is biggest disappointment, I was more disappointed in this because I thought I would fall head over heels of these characters, etc., but I didn't, like I did in Bridge Kingdom. Made it disappointing for me because I honestly thought it would be like a new fave, and I'm just like sitting here with like it was just fine. But I will read the sequel, but still. Then I have biggest surprise. I feel like I can have 2 runner-ups for this question. I have Bride by Ali Hazelwood, which I didn't think I would enjoy at all, and I almost gave it 5 stars. And I have Dawn by Octavia E. Butler, because I thought that I wouldn't understand this, because I thought I would be too stupid to, and it was super accessible and like a brilliant book. I didn't expect it to be that brilliant. Like, so good, and it was like the last read of June as well, so it fit exactly into this video. Two surprises that I very much ended up enjoying and I wanted to mention here. Now, my actual answer for this is The Crimson Moth by Kristen Cicerelli, because I did not expect to give this book 5 stars. I obviously saw everyone talking about it and like enjoying it super much, and I was like, what is going on? And I read it for my favorite vlog, which is coming soon hopefully, and I was listening to an audiobook and I was just like, oh my god, this is good. It is about a witch and a witch hunter, and she's using him for information where a witch is hiding, I mean being kept imprisoned, and he is using her because he thinks maybe that she might be Crimson Moth, who's helping people or witches escape, and they're like using each other while simultaneously falling for each other, and it was just such a good time. Their banter and chemistry and story and world building, it's not, you know, a huge grand world etc, but it gave exactly what I wanted to give. It did exactly what I wanted to do, and it was super enjoyable for doing so, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. So for me, just giving any book 5 stars in that vlog is shocking in itself, and that is why I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. I was surprised by just the enjoyment and the way it was written and how it was just so fun. I just hit the right spots for me, and I'm very surprised by it. So for favorite new author, I want to again put James Islington, and I read one book by the dude, you know. So granted, I normally wouldn't call it like actually like officially a favorite, but it made me curious enough now to be like, anything this author writes, I will pick up and then expect to enjoy it. And if I didn't, you know, enjoy like many more works of the author, I might like leave him. I have The Shadow of War Was Lost. I haven't read it yet. If I read that, which hopefully I want to do soon, and I enjoyed that, even like nearly as much as The Will of the Many, I know he got me. So like this is me predicting that he's a new favorite author for the rest of time after just reading one book by the author. That is what I got to say about that. So newest fictional crush, I put in Mother in Mistakes Were Made. Her name is actually Erin, and she's a doctor, and she falls in love with her daughter's friend, and that friend falls in love with her friend's mother, and it is like a MILF story. I am completely obsessed with this. It's like one of my favorites of the year. This could have been like in the first question, but like I love The Will of the Many more in a different way, and I want to, you know, spread out my answers so I could talk about different books and different answers. But this was honestly like such a joy, and I didn't expect to like be this obsessed with it and care so much for these characters and their relationships. Everything in this book that like I normally don't like in romances was not present, and I was just obsessed with these people getting to know each other, etc. And I definitely would want an Erin in my life, like definitely, like I want that. So was that just an inner like a trigger for me, thinking like I need a MILF now, I need a MILF doctor that takes care of me. So the next question is news favorite characters, and for that I obviously put in Evocation by S.C. Gibson, where we have 3 characters, David, Russ and Moira, that are all in love and are amazing and incredible, and I love them all. The characters here made a story, so I love them all, and they're all my new favorite characters. And we have David, who is cursed and is getting help now from Russ and Moira, who are married, and Russ and David were exes. They ended things on a bad note, but things can be repaired, and it's just about bonds and family and friendship and love. And then it has incantation and cool stuff, and it's like, I give it 5 stars. It was incredible. I can't wait for the next one. And the reason for that is because I fell in love with the characters. So I fit perfectly for this question. The next answer is a book that made me cry. And I have not been able to remember what book made me cry this year, because I definitely feel like I cried. I feel like I felt tears in a book. Do I know which one now? Absolutely not, but apparently that's something I need to take note of later. But a book that should have made me cry and I felt teary-eyed, but I didn't like drop tears, is The Sword of Kaigan by Al Wang, which I read together with my patrons in the Discord actually, and we had a grand time together. It was such a good and marvelous book. It was absolutely incredible, and it's very sad, but also like hopeful and full of love and all that. We follow this family that is from this village. The family is a family of fighters, and they're in this village where they have, for example, this school where they train, work out with, what's it called? Oh my god. They learn to battle. I can't even say the words. Like, they have fighters, warriors capable of racing the sea with the blades of ice. But like, what is it called when you're like warrior school? fighting techniques. I don't even know, fighting school. How do you say that? And we follow this family, like it's full of honor and like duty. But like that reminds me of, you know, Jade City in a way. They can remind of each other, but like it's about question the empire you're in, and like the events after tragedy strikes this village, etc. It was just super fun and interesting to learn about the different characters, to learn about his family, to care for this family. Goes into your heart deeply. I want to read the other series by the author, even though she left it, but just because it's set in the same world. But I'm still curious about it. And I also read the other Amal Wang book, which was also incredible. So now like this also maybe one of my new favorite authors, I realized, since I read actually 2 books by the author in the same month. That could also work, actually. I just didn't, you know, it's hard to think of so many answers to these questions. I read too many books. It's too many options. I mean, Esther Gibson's also like a new favorite author, but I don't remember if I answered Esther Gibson in another tag, another year when I read A Diary of Blood. I have no idea. This question has always been there. I just took this out of someone, but it's like the most beautiful book you received or gotten. And I don't know, like I gotten a lot of different special editions. And I just couldn't make up my mind. I'm looking around like what is my most beautiful I received? I don't know. And because I don't, I mean, I did get the sub-press editions. It felt like such a long time ago that I got Babel of Kwang, the sub-press edition, that I forgot it was this year. But it is the sub-press edition. It is stunning, it is gorgeous, it is like the quality, the size. Very interesting that they focus on the couture instead of, you know, the actual building, which a lot of other special editions do. And just like the quality of this was worth every single penny I had inside of me. So I guess this would be the answer for me. Yeah, I showed it off many times, I feel like, on this channel. And then the last question is, what do I need to read for the rest of the year? And I have, honestly, so I need to take out my journal here. I have too many options because I still have secrets I need to read this year, which were chosen out randomly. And then I also have 24 and 24 and anticipated releases that I already out and haven't read yet that are not the familiar. Among them, for example, being Poisonous Redrink and So Let Them Burn. These are both on my summer TBR, so I should read them now in July or August, because August is still summer. I have more, okay? I put on that I was going to read Poirot this year and read as many as possible. I read 1. And I think I have like over 20. And the next one I need to read is The Big Four. Will I get to this? I have no belief inside of me that I will. Do I want to? Absolutely. My dad is now sawing something, so thank you for that, Dad. 24 and 24 I put on all the Moomin books. I have read Zero. I feel like the one I read last year. Yeah. So I read Zero, and I think I have, I can't even count them, like 7 to read or 6. But they're really short, but will I do it? I don't know. I also put on 24 and 24, I put on One Pirates, which is a series that I never got to finish when I was a kid. And now I'm caught up to where I was as a kid. How I continue? No. So this is only the 4th book and I have 56. I just didn't bother taking out all the books from my shelves. I also put on 24 and 24, I put on The Islamic Gods, which is this is the 2nd book. And I read the first one, really liked it. And I want to read this like one like ish soon. This is a very thick book, but the audiobook narrator is the same as The Witcher. So I should literally just put on the audiobook. Have I done so? No. I have not. I also put on All the Life You Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. The show is even out. And I haven't read the books, I haven't watched the show. Will I? I mean, the plan is yes. I still have 6 months. And in the other 6 months that's been, I read 346 books. I definitely feel like I can make these ones. I also put on Realm of the Elder Rings. I have not picked up a Realm of the Elder Rings one since I read Dragon Keeper in January in 2023. So I went all of 2023 not picking up a single Robin Hobb. And now we are in July 2024 and I still haven't picked up the next one. It was just something about leaving the Fitz and the Fool in like the TV Man and then going over to another characters. I was just like, I'm not ready. And now I know I have 6 books left and I just don't want to deal with the fact that I'm gonna say goodbye. So I just been procrastinating finishing, and now it's been so long that like, do I reread? No, I do not. But I was planning to finish them this year, but now I feel like it's not gonna happen because I'm just procrastinating. Okay, so then I had, you know, the series that were chosen randomly. I have Red Queen's War. I only have the 3rd and final book in that series actually because I read the other 2. Oh, I lost a book. And I also read Broken Empire Dawn. So like not that much left, but still like I need to read that final one and unhaul it. I also have the Mino series, which I just bought the one I was missing for. So like in theory now I can just read through the whole thing it was chosen out. I should really do it. I am planning to do it probably like when I get to November. I'm like, shit, I need to actually read these books, and then I would do it then or something. We have War Eternal, but that was not randomly. I just mixed up my stuff. I have read 2 of these this year, and then I only missing 2. So now it doesn't feel as much, you know? It was 4 and I halved it. So I feel like I'm doing good, you know? It's only been 6 months. And then I also have Heaven's Official Blessing. I read 2 out of 8, and I'm not enjoying it. Some books fell. I'm not enjoying myself, so I don't know what I'm gonna do about said fact. And the last is A Song of Ice and Fire, which were chosen out. I have reread 1 to 4. And then I haven't read 5th before, which is another reread, but I am supposed to read this too. And then I will read Fire and Blood and also Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So then I like read-ish everything in the world except the world of Song of Ice and Fire or something. So like I am on track kinda, because I reread 4 of them. You know, I feel like I'm doing good. Other than that, there are other things. I need to read Wolves of Mercy Falls by Maggie Stillwater. I read 1 and I need to read the rest of that series. I need to read all of Gossip Girl. Will it happen? I do not know. And then I'm supposed to read also Ride On, but I feel like that's not gonna happen. Like Rick Riordan. Other than that, I'm on track. And then I have other anticipated releases, but I'm basically on track with those. I've had like 2 I own, but I haven't read yet, but I'm planning to read them soon. So I feel like I'm doing well. Like I'm doing well of things considered. It's not that much left. So I'm reaching my goals in that regard. I definitely reached my, you know, actually reading goal. Or for my channel, if I have stuff to say about that mid-year, I had a really good year considering, because I did some challenges that did really well, which I'm very grateful for, and I am hoping to do more, but obviously I don't have time to do them all the time, but we shall see what happens. That was basically what I have for this video. I talked about some books and I am shocked of myself as well. I bet you're shocked, but I'm more shocked than you are. Really good work, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you had a good first 6 months of the year, and you should see me soon in a new one. Leave a happy face emoji down below if you enjoyed this, because we are happy we are doing so well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.